How you doing out there? Today is April 16th, 2019, my 5-year anniversary from when I was told to get my house in order that I was going to pass away. I was taken into the hospital on this day 5 years ago. I was already paralyzed. I had had this disease and it went a long time undetected. But they ran a lot of tests that day, and apparently they told me that my cancer had metastasized, ran all through my body, and it was in stage 4. I didn't even know the type of cancer I had. Went to stage 4. I thought stage 3 was the final stage for it. And I had so many lesions and fractures that were all through my body. Even now I have like 18 fractures throughout my spinal cord, my neck, my ribs, my hip. And at that time, they told me that was it, that you're done. And obviously my family didn't want to handle that, so they had me transported by ambulance to a second hospital that was supposed to be more respected. And they kept me there about 8 days, and they ran all kinds of tests as well. Did a lot of radiation to do what they could to, shrink tumors and give me some treatments there, and they came up with the same conclusion that I was in the final stages, and that was the end of it, that hospice was my only option. So they moved me to a hospice facility from there, and I was so bad, I couldn't feed myself, I couldn't sit up in a bed. They would have to come in and pull me up with the blankets behind me and put pillows to keep me from actually suffocating myself because I couldn't move. I was gone. I was in a delusional state. I felt myself fading away. I would see shadows, and I knew it was the end. I had accepted it because I have a lot of faith. I had faith in God, and I believe He prepared me for that. But I never cursed God, and I never was angry about it. I was worried more for my family, how they were going to handle it, especially my dad. He was just heartbroken, and it broke my heart to see him and what he was going through and the pain he was going through. And he kept telling me, "Don't give up, don't give up." I'm like, what can I do? But he brought me home from the hospice facility to his house because he wanted me to at least be home in my final days, and they brought the hospice team there. Well, the hospice team stayed there with me, and they, trained my dad to be a nurse for me. And I remember I had a bed sore on my back that went all the way to my bones, and none of the nurses and doctors could heal it, and my dad actually healed that bed sore, and they were amazed. He was just the greatest, and he still is my caregiver to this day, and he is the greatest caregiver. And I want to give a shout out to all caregivers out there because they put their entire life ends, and they put it on hold, and they go through this battle with us every day. They battle cancer with us side by side. And sometimes I want to say for some of them, it's worse than it is for us, even though we're going through this disease. We're prepared for it, and they're not prepared for a lot of the things that we go through. I get choked up even thinking about the feelings that they have, but I want to give a shout out to all caregivers out there. God bless you guys. You guys are warriors too. But anyway, he brought me home, and obviously he didn't want to give up, neither did my aunt. So they got me into this wonderful, one of the greatest cancer centers. I was actually supposed to go there before something happened, but by the grace of God, they ended up accepting me. Now I got there and they said, "Wow, you're in horrible condition." They've never seen somebody so far along advanced. Usually it doesn't go along that far, but I had gone misdiagnosed for a really long time. They got me there. They couldn't even weigh me. They had to weigh the wheelchair. It didn't weigh me on a scale with the wheelchair because they couldn't move me. My bones were so brittle. I weighed like 146 pounds, and I always had weighed at least 220 and solid because I was a Mason my whole life. And the disease had just tore me down completely. But anyway, they took me in there, and I was there for about a month of going through treatments and radiation. And the radiation was the only thing that actually helped the pain. I mean, I know I was hooked to a IV pain pump, and they were giving me 4 milligrams of hydromorphone every 5 minutes and 20 something milligrams an hour. I think it was scheduled for 10 an hour plus another 4 every 5 minutes. It was just some crazy amount that would have killed an elephant, and it wasn't even touching my pain. But the radiation actually started to help because it started to shrink some of the tumors. And by the grace of God, I actually started to get better. And it was just a miracle. I mean, I give a lot of glory to God. I mean, I give all glory to God, to be honest with you. But, I mean, I was gone. I was in the final stages where I was pretty much done. This is when I came home from the hospital after they got me better, and obviously the steroids put on weight. I'm sure you can see by the picture of me talking now, the dexamethasone, and this was me actually being able to sit up for the first time and having control of my body. Now take it, I had been paralyzed. They told me I would never ever walk again. I would never regain functions of the lower parts of my body. Well, God had another plan for that. This is me at that facility, obviously, while I'm getting better, and I'm still going through it. I mean, it's a battle. Everybody that's going through it knows that it's a battle. And these are some of the pictures. This is me again in that hospital bed, just completely tore down. This is the stem cell transplant. Whenever they finally, when I got better, this was a couple of years ago, I finally administered a stem cell transplant that they gave me, and this was the machine that they collected with. This is my support dog, Gypsy. I got her after my second year back. She was a Christmas present for me, and she is just, I mean, she's great. Now, here's my numbers. This will show you I'm not making anything up. You can see how high my cancer and M-spike numbers of the disease, how incredibly high everything was, and then how low everything is now. It's just like as high as it can go on the chart, I was above it in every stage. So that's why they just don't understand a lot of times why I'm even still here today. And it's a blessing. See, multiple myeloma, I'm going to explain to you a little bit what it's about. It's a complex cancer that develops in the bone marrow where the blood cells are produced. And myeloma clones an abnormal type of blood cell known as the plasma cell, causes a variety of problems as they multiply and spread in the bone marrow cavity. As these cells multiply, they interfere with normal productions of all types of blood cells, the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. Healthy plasma cells are responsible for producing a variety of immunoglobulins, which are antibodies, which protect the body from infections and diseases. The immunoglobulins produced by the plasma cell clones, myeloma cells, do not benefit the body. Instead, they crowd out normal functioning immunoglobulins. The high levels of these immunoglobulins is a hallmark characteristic of myeloma known as the M protein. Now that's what I was trying to show you in those pictures, the M protein, and everything else. Those were the ones at the bottom and the other chart. Everything I had, though, was skyrocket. So for me to be here talking 5 years later, after I was supposed to be gone, is just, I give a lot, I give glory to God, and there's a lot of scriptures that help me get through, and there's also some that really touch my heart. And there's one that I don't try to relate myself to somebody, that's in the Bible, but I think of King Hezekiah whenever Isaiah went to him and said, get your house in order that you're going to die, that you're sick and you're going to die. And he cries out and he prays to the Lord. And the Lord hears his prayers, and he tells Isaiah, go back, I have heard his prayers and seen his tears, and I will heal him and grant him 15 more years of life. And that one has always really, it touches me. And I think one of the reasons that I've handled this so well, it says in John 4:18, 1 John 4:18, perfect love casts out all fear. And I really believe that because I don't fear cancer. That's how we beat cancer. We get up every day and kick cancer in the ass. Okay, don't let it run you. You run it by enjoying every day and the blessings of every day. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone. And Philippians 4:13 tells us we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And always remember that. And I'll tell you one of the ones that I love 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, where Jesus said, my grace is sufficient, where through your weakness my strength is made perfect. And that one has helped me so much. And I mean, it has really touched me. And even I think it was in Matthew 19:26, where he said, with man, everything is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So whenever man gave up on me, God was still there for me. And I mean, I can't explain it any other way. Now I have to get up every day, every night. I have to take all these medications every night. Okay. And then 2 more times during the day. This is just my night package. And then I have a chemo pill that I have to take for maintenance every 21 days and then 7 days off. So, they say if the disease doesn't kill you, a lot of times the treatment will. But you know what? Never give up hope. Always keep faith. And always remember that there's always hope. If you keep hope and faith alive, man, and have a great support system behind you, because I will tell you that you could come back from something like this. I mean, I was so bad, they couldn't put me on an MRI table or a CAT scan table without breaking my bones. I would literally fracture bones being placed from the bed, and they would slide me from the bed to the table, and I would literally break bones. I was so fragile. So don't ever give up hope. We are blessed. I am blessed. I look at it like I am blessed because I know there are so many people out there every day that take things for granted. I don't take things for granted anymore. I never go to bed angry. I don't wake up angry. I tell people I love them. I say the things that I mean. There's people in this world who struggle worse than we do, who are healthy, and they have more struggles than we do. Okay? Everybody goes through something, and everybody has a battle. I don't want pity, and I don't expect sympathy, because we all have to go through some kind of test through life. And I have had a good life. I enjoy life. I'm not wealthy, and there's no amount of money in the world that would heal me if I did. So there are so much more important things out there that you must think about in life and enjoy in life. And I tell you, if you have this disease, any kind of cancer or any kind of terminal disease, get up every day. Enjoy that day. Don't let that disease get the best of you. Okay? And I know that it's a struggle. I'm in pain every moment of the day. My body is adapted to it, and I've grown used to it. But I'm going to still get out there, and I'm going to enjoy the best that I can of every moment that I have. You just remember that. And try to have a lot of strength and faith and hope. And never give up. I keep all people who are struggling and going through cancer and other things in my prayers every night. And I always will. You guys remember that. And God bless you all.